diagram, this is commissural fiber. See, this is commissural fiber are those fiber which connect two identical areas of different cerebral hemisphere. From, for example, right side and left side of cerebral hemisphere, they are connected with commissural fiber. So two identical areas of different cerebral hemisphere are connected with commissural fiber. In the commissural fiber, the most important short note is corpus callosum. Other than that, we have anterior commissure, we have posterior commissure, havenular commissure. These are only for the namesake, but for short note, corpus callosum is very important. So corpus callosum is a type of white matter. It is the collection of nerve fiber which connect the right and left cerebral hemisphere. The various part of corpus callosum we have, see if you can make out, this is the corpus callosum. So this corpus callosum, again I'll show you in this CG diagram which you can draw in examination. See, for examination point of view, you have rostrum, genu, trunk and splenium. Rostrum is that part of corpus callosum, see, which connect the frontal lobe, okay, to different cerebral hemisphere. Then genu is the bend, it is the turn. That also connects the fiber of frontal cortex. Trunk is the middle part. It connects the fiber of parietal lobe of left and right cerebral hemisphere. And splenium is the posterior most part. It connects the fiber of two occipital lobe. So these are the various part of corpus callosum: rostrum, genu, trunk, and splenium. Now, if you see the corpus callosum more detail as a short note, so corpus callosum also form the roof of lateral ventricle. You see, this is the roof of lateral ventricle. This is the corpus callosum. It forms the roof of lateral ventricle. It forms the floor of anterior horn of lateral ventricle. The detail we will study in lateral ventricle. So this is corpus callosum. So it's a white matter. This is collection of fiber. It connects the two different right and left cerebral hemisphere. The parts are rostrum, genu, trunk, and splenium. So this is commissural fiber. These are the remaining. You should remember only name of the commissural fiber. So once again, you can make out internal capsule, that is a projection fiber. Corpus callosum is a commissural fiber, and I told you association fiber. So white matter short knot can be there. Not only the white matter, short knot will be there on corpus callosum. It can be there on internal capsule. It can be there for association fiber. Now again a short note. So we are not going in more depth detail because you will get short note in embryology and some of part of this neuroanatomy. So I'm explaining you in the brief, very brief, of gray matter. The gray matter of cerebrum is the collection of neuron cell body, and it is in the form of various nuclei. And these nuclei are known as basal nuclei. As they lie in the base of brain, we call it basal nuclei. So basal nuclei is a part of gray matter of cerebrum. It contains the neuron cell body, and the various nuclei in the basal nuclei, we have lentiform nucleus, caudate nucleus, thalamus, amygdaloid body. So these all are basal nuclei. Now first, it's the lentiform nucleus. This one is the lentiform nucleus. The lentiform nucleus is the basal nuclei, and it has again the two part, globus pallidus and putamen. Globus pallidus and putamen, it lies in the floor of lateral ventricle, and it is related with the head of nucleus, the head of caudate nucleus. Caudate nucleus, you see, it is the long nucleus. It forms the floor of lateral ventricle. The caudate nucleus contains head, body, and tail. Head, body, and tail. The tail of caudate nucleus is related with amygdaloid body or amygdala. This is the amygdaloid body or amygdala. This is the head of caudate nucleus. Head of caudate nucleus lies in the anterior horn of lateral ventricle. Then body lies in the central part of lateral ventricle, and tail goes to the temporal lobe. This is about caudate nucleus. These nuclei are basically controls the motor activity of the body. They control the muscles. They control the muscle tone. They control the muscle tone. So this is the caudate nucleus. Now, among this, the most important is the thalamus. We will study the detail of thalamus. Thalamus is the large nucleus. All of our body sensation, whether they are general sensation, special sensation, they has to pass directly through the thalamus. Only olfaction is the sensation which do not pass directly. It passes indirectly through the thalamus. Otherwise, your hearing, your vision, hot, cold, pain, touch, all sensation, they passes through thalamus. So all the information are gathered in the thalamus. These are integrated in the thalamus. These are interpreted in the thalamus. These are regulated in the thalamus. So thalamus is very, very important nucleus. The thalamus forms the floor of lateral ventricle. It lies in the floor of lateral ventricle. So thalamus is the important short note. So if you see, there are two thalami, right and left thalami. Both the cerebral hemisphere in the floor, you have right and left thalami. Now each thalamus, if you see, it has two end, anterior end and posterior end. It has four surfaces, superior, inferior, medial and lateral. They are connected with interthalamic connexus or interthalamic adhesions. Both the thalami are connected with interthalamic adhesions. The east thalamus is divided by a Y-shaped lamina. This is the Y-shaped lamina into anterior group of nuclei, medial group of nuclei and lateral group of the nuclei. So with a different color you can make out anterior group yellow color, medial group blue color and red color lateral. Lateral again has got various nuclei, lateral dorsal, lateral posterior, lateral ventral, lateral rostral, lot of nuclei. So you need not remember all name, but you should know it has two anterior end and posterior end. It has four surfaces, anterior, posterior, medial, lateral. So for that again you have to go for that diagram related with the lateral ventricle. See this one. This is thalamus. The anterior end of thalamus, it forms the boundary from for interventricular foramen. This is the anterior end. Posterior end is related with pulvinar. That also I'll explain you. Superior surface. See, this is the superior surface. The superior surface is related with floor of lateral ventricle. So we were discussing about thalamus, various nuclei of the thalamus. Now this is the thalamus in the MRI. We can make out thalamus can be seen in MRI. The clinical importance of thalamus, as all the information passes through the thalamus, there is very important condition, a disease is there that is known as phantom limb. So that can be there later on a short note in clinical side. In examination also it is commonly asked in all your PG entrance exam and for jobs exam. What is phantom limb or what happened during trauma or accident whenever the limb is amputated? Okay, when the limb is cut off, especially the lower limb, when the patient lower limb is cut off, but still patient cries that I am feeling severe pain in my lower limb, the limb which is not there. The patient is crying that I'm having severe pain in my limb below the knee, but actually below the knee limb is amputated, it is cut off. That is the phantom limb. What is the reason for this? Because during amputation, some of sensory nerve fiber remain intact with the skin. Okay, the part amputated above that fiber, and those send keep on hypersensation to the thalamus. So thalamus give this image and thalamus give the sensation of severe pain. So that is known as phantom limb. Then there can be certain other disorder related with thalamus. So this is the importance of thalamus. So a short note can be there for thalamus also. So that is about this phantom limb, applied anatomy of the thalamus. Now, other than that, see, this is the tumor in right cerebral hemisphere. So this is a CT scan of the brain. So in CT scan of the brain, when you see, you can make out this is the nasal septum. These are the sinuses of nose, eye. Then you have cerebellum. This is the brain stem. This is the cerebrum. So tumor can be easily seen in the right cerebral hemisphere. Tumor is seen here. Now, cerebral palsy. This is a disease which you will come across in your clinic. There are certain babies. So when the babies come with some disorder, this is a non-progressive disorder. This is caused by brain injury. What happens whenever the baby come who is not able to walk, walking, sitting is not properly, we used to ask the mother of baby, does this baby cry, or okay, when did she cry or he cry, baby cry immediately after birth or long duration after the birth. So normally the baby cry after the birth immediately, but if the baby do not cry immediately, it means there is loss of blood supply to the brain. Okay, so due to loss of blood supply to the brain of newborn baby or intrauterine life, a condition can be there that is known as cerebral palsy. It is non-progressive. So whatever damage is occurred during the delivery, whatever damage has been occurred just at the birth, beyond that no damage will be there. Okay, so then what happened? This injured brain before CNS it reach maturity, and patient has problem in walking, sitting, and muscular problem will be there. The posture balance won't be there, and in this case, the along with medicine, physiotherapy is required. So, cerebral palsy, as a first year student, you have to know it is a non-progressive disorder of cerebrum due to loss of blood supply. So, the cerebral palsy can be there spastic. You can see the person won't be able. Spastic can be there. Then athetoid can be there, dyskinetic. So the detail is not required for you. Now, other than that, in cerebral hemisphere, if there is any cyst or tumor in the flow of CSF through the ventricle, then you can make out this is the normal CT scan where lateral ventricle, anterior horn, posterior horn are seen. But here, in case of cyst in the flow, you can see the lateral ventricle are enlarged. This is abnormal. Lateral ventricle are enlarged. Now, nowadays we have PET scan. Okay, CT and MRI. After that, we have PET scan. So, in the PET scan, along with the anatomy of brain, in CT scan and in MRI, we can see the anatomy of the brain, not the physiology. But PET scan, we can see the physiology of brain also, the functioning of the brain. So, in this scan, if you see here, red color is the gray matter, the green is the white matter, and blue is also white matter. So which area are functioning or not functioning of the brain, that we can see by PET scan. So you can make out the gray matter, you can make out the white matter, you can make out the white matter in the PET scan. This is again the PET scan. You can make out different area, gray matter,